a classroom answering questions. A boy raised his hand and asked, "In America, do you feel safe going to school?" This past summer, I had the opportunity to go to Capetown in the Republic of South Africa through the CIEE program. CIEE is a study abroad program for students of all ages to travel around the world and gain global experiences. My group, about 19 teenagers, dove into the South African culture. We ate mopane worms, which, with my unaccustomed taste buds, tasted like dirt. We took a class on Afrikaans, one of the 11 official languages spoken in the country. We went to local schools, teaching English and playing with kids. And we took pictures at key tourist locations. Most importantly, we learned about South Africa's history and how this very recent country only formed a democracy 20 years ago. South Africa used to be governed by the apartheid system. Established in 1795, it was the equivalent of the Jim Crow laws in America, segregating the whites from the non-whites, causing inequalities in services, especially education. We visited a museum about the Soweto uprising, where high school students protested against the unfair educational system, leading to the death of 13-year-old Hector Peterson. His death was a symbol to the brutality of the apartheid government, as well as his commitment to the human right of education. During our stay in South Africa, I witnessed and heard the constant difficulties of achieving this level of education. For example, many students in rural areas are afraid to go to school. When the boy asked, "In America, do you feel safe when you go to school?" I stared at him, wondering why an 8-year-old was asking this kind of question. The place where he lived was filled with drugs and gang activity. Although I had read about these types of problems in school, I was shocked to hear those words come from this boy's mouth. Witnessing this firsthand, I thought to myself, no child should ever have to say that. No child should be scared to walk to school because of violence, and no child should ever be denied education. But that is the reality of the world we live in. And as demoralizing as the situation is for this boy and many other children, I saw hope in this. These children still go to school. They want to have an education, regardless of the dangers involved in attending school. According to the UN, the right to education establishes the access to quality education and to a learning that develops the human personality. There must be an equitable distribution of educational resources according to needs, regardless of race, gender, and religion. Education empowers the individual, promoting freedom necessary for the exercising of all basic human rights. Education is the foundation for growth in a society. On the third day of the program, we went to a local township near Johannesburg, the capital of South Africa. It was a town of 40,000 people, an unemployment rate of 72%, and 7 public water fountains, their only source of water to supply the entire community. Known as Kliptown, this is one of the poorer areas surrounding the capital. Right away, I deemed the place hopeless, as poverty crippled the entire community. That day, I saw something very different. I learned that poverty can deprive humans of their basic human rights, but it cannot take away the fact that these rights are inalienable. I went to a community center in Kliptown, where I saw an amazing program put together by local educators, where children could play sports and learn to read and write in a safe environment. With limited resources and in one of the most impoverished communities, this center has managed to give education to its local children for the past 8 years. Education is not just school-related, but it's the acquisition of knowledge in all fields of life. Going on this trip, I realized not only how important the CIEE program was for the children in South Africa, but also a big learning experience for me. When I spent time with the children in Kliptown, I played soccer with them, and within minutes, my phone was out, and I was already taking pictures with them. On the drive home, my group was happily exchanging the many photos we took with them. Honestly, I was excited to post a picture on maybe Facebook, understandably because I wanted to share them with my friends and families back home. However, I forgot that I didn't go there to receive recognition, but to make the children feel recognized instead. I learned that by taking pictures first, without getting to know the kids, we fall prey to viewing these children as props for a picture to post on social media. Reflecting on this trip, I knew I was not an NGO, going into a developing country. discovering solutions to fight every problem South Africa has. I understood the limits of what I could do with my abilities and my position in society. But South Africa showed me money is incomparable to the human desire for change, driven by the belief that all humans are equal and can possess the knowledge of their basic human rights. A small impact, as insignificant as it may be, is still one piece of the puzzle to the overall picture. Little by little, service group after service group, I knew I was a part of a bigger scheme to bring education into the lives of the South African children. Just like the boy asking me if it was safe to go to school. Just like Hector Peterson, and the many other students who were killed in the movement for equality in education. I think it's time we see a world where students are set free from the chains of poverty, discrimination, and society standards. And I believe it starts with education as a human right. Thank you.